Local Gods. My name is Marco Liu.
And I'm James Hahn.
And we are at our last episode of the season.
Okay.
Maybe ever? What do you think?
Maybe. It's been a good run.
It's been a good run. I've had a lot of fun. I'm sure you have as well.
Yes, I have.
I think, it really depends on how we feel about it and how I think any audience cares or resonates with what we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, bro. Like, what have been the feedback from like your friends and people watching the episodes?
I think for one, a lot of the people I talk to about the show, if they bring it up, or even random comments, is like, wow, they've never seen a podcast like this before, where it kind of splits the difference between a super activist academic podcast and one of those just shoot the shit type podcasts.
Yeah.
And we try to bring on guests that are relevant in all different aspects of life that speak to what it means to be a human being in the 21st century. Right. So that's what I hear back. What do your friends say?
I mean, it's split. Like, there are some friends that are like, oh my gosh, like the guests you bring on are people I've never really gotten to hear about. Or they learn about somebody new. And you have some people that are like, the representation you're showing, we need this representation. You're doing a good work. So I'm like, all right, hey, amen to all that, bro. I'm excited about that.
Is there an average age for the people that talk about representation?
I will say the people who are listening and watching are a little skew, like late 20s and then older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
what about you?
The data, I think it's clear. Like if you click on like all the YouTube data points, it's like mid-20s to mid-30s, which that makes sense. I'm not surprised that is our audience. But and quick note, this is completely unplanned. Like this is kind of an impromptu episode that we're doing. So we literally didn't even talk about this at all before we jumped on. So that's why we both look kind of confused right now, because we're used to
I don't look confused, bro. I'm composed.
Well, I don't know. I mentally feel confused. I don't know what I look like though, but
all good, man.
I would say it's been really interesting to see the conversations that have sprung up out of some of our episodes, and even like themes that keep on coming up over and over again. Like, what sticks out to you?
I mean, the thing that me and you are so curious about, and we keep like drilling at this like idea of Asian American identity and the things that pertain to it. I think we just keep harping on it, like little by little. Sometimes we're direct about it. Sometimes it just comes out in our guests, in what they say. And, one of my goals with this podcast was to, in a cool, smooth type of way, show different types of like Asian Americans you could find, and like and show them in different different fields, show excellence in different genres, in different worlds that they live in. And I think that hearing like people's dreams, their fears, things they learned from failure, things that they look forward to, these are all aspects of what it means to be human. Yeah. And I just love that we have this chance to showcase ourselves and our guests, like other Asian Americans, and just show the humanity of who we are, So that's like something every episode I'm like, yeah, we're doing that,
Yeah.
Regardless of how many views we get, regardless of, what happens, I'm really proud of that we were able to like put our heads together and like, get this thing going.
Yeah, I think so. I think, it's not really about aiming high or aiming low. We're just fascinated about the subject matter of what does it mean to be Asian in America or Asian in the Western world in the 21st century. And with the guests that we bring on and the fact that they're from all different walks of life, as you were saying, from the arts, from food, fashion, film, music, it speaks to something that we've said a few times on the podcast, where I'm not even sure if we got the definition right, but ubiquity.
Yeah.
The fact that specifically Asian Americans, are ubiquitous to our culture, to our lifestyles, where if you watch TV or if you look at things on your phone or a tablet, you listen to music, you are in touch to things that young people care about. There are Asian fingerprints over all of that. And it's something that I think older generations of Asian Americans,
They couldn't have even dreamed of this, bro.
like they wouldn't want to dream about, because to me, I feel like a lot of older Asian Americans, they're so used to being not seen, period.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah.
Does that bring up a story? It looks like it sparks a memory.
No, I mean, I think that's something me and you are like obsessed over, this idea of being unseen for so many years. But my being unseen is slightly different because I grew up in Maryland and I lived in Atlanta. Whereas for you, you grew up in California, probably one of the best places to have a chance to be seen as an Asian American, you know?
Our perspectives, I think, dovetailed, because if I interpret your experience growing up correctly, it's like you were frustrated at how unseen you and people like you were to society, where you were always playing someone else's game. Right? You were always participating in someone else's world where the lead was never you. The target audience was never you. You basically were just like dumped into like a foreign space, so to speak, where even though you're born and raised there, it's like, oh, like, I guess I must not really belong, right?
Yeah,
Nothing is reflected.
Yeah, yeah. And the only way you can interpret your reality is through someone else's narrative who is
Sure.
not like you or doesn't even think about you.
Yeah. And I grew up on the opposite, where even though there are different parts of my life where I wasn't always surrounded by Asians, like everyone knew how to use chopsticks. Like it would be, people would look at people weird if they were like trying to eat with chopsticks like this.
That's crazy.
Instead of just with one hand,
Yeah.
right? And then even little things like growing up as a kid in Orange County, most of my friends in school were, if they were Asian, they were Vietnamese. And us watching the same type of Chinese kung fu films where it was like confusing growing up, where it's like, wait, but they're Vietnamese and my parents are from Taiwan, yet we're literally consuming the same stuff, except that they got a different dub than I did. Where like being Asian was normal, and I couldn't understand until I started traveling through to other parts of the country where I'm like, oh, this is like, I'm not even like salt and pepper in these places. Like I'm like some foreign seasoning.
You're not even on the table.
Yeah,
dude.
where they're like breaking necks. We're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, bro. A chopstick wouldn't be at the table. The hell? That's crazy, bro. Just a spork.
Yeah, just a spork. Bring it back to our original episode.
Callback. Yeah.
That's a good segue. Like, what are some of the most memorable conversations you remember us having on this podcast?
Honestly, that conversation with Lyrics Born and Sung Kang.
Yeah.
I still think about it from time to time. Like when he mentioned the spork and wanting to be at the table of, I don't know, society's influencers or like the culture makers of society.
Yeah.
Does that even make sense? Like wanting to be at, there's like a certain table that you want to be at, be respected by your peers, have the influence to like affect change on a mass scale. And wanting to be at that table is kind of crazy in one sense. People are just like, they live their lives, you know, not wanting to go outside of themselves. They just want to have a quiet life, you know, love their family, which is a very valiant and great goal to have. But for those of us who are crazy enough to want to be part of entertainment or music or film or these like culture shifting type of worlds, like we are obsessed with what makes the ground shake. We're obsessed with what influences people, what inspires people to move or to act or, you know, like to dream and like act on those dreams.
Yeah.
So that conversation really got me thinking, because I mean, me being in the hip hop world, you know, but we got to say for the camera, like I'm still just scratching the surface, you know, being in the rap world. Like what is it about our Asian American world, or me being a Korean American? Like what kind of things are we creating that are just for us? You know, like it can't just be boba.
Yeah.
I can't be putting boba in videos. That shit's corny. Like it don't work for me.
You've tried that in the past.
I've tried. It don't work. It's only because I've tried.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like like, am I supposed to put restaurants? You know, like it's because it's this whole idea of like iconography, or like when you're creating an image, you know, to export, or creating an image to be true to who you are. You know, like I've been so obsessed with like what are the things I put in the image for Uzuhan, for what I do with my music, you know. And I think that conversation with Lyricsborn, LB, and Sun Kang, it just helped me to just move the needle a little bit more. And I still don't really have an answer, but I think I'm just like more motivated to like keep the conversation going within myself.
I think that's the beauty of how we frame a lot of things on this podcast, where the answer is always changing. Like there are some things that are like set in stone, right? Because like unfortunately, or however you want to view it, you can't change your ethnicity. You can try and adopt different personas, but who you are is who you are. Because even though you may think differently, like I may feel like an Irishman on the inside, but the rest of the world will be like, nah, the guy from Ireland.
Who's that boy that thought he was Korean? The white boy from like, do you remember there was like...
Oh yeah, there was this... Like he wanted to be an Opar. He wanted to be an Opar. You're talking about that dude, right?
You know, he's like some white dude from like the UK who was like, I'm Korean because I got this surgery, all these surgeries to look more Korean. I was like, what the fuck?
Like,
oh my God.
More power to him, but
that ain't no power. You just that joke.
Society doesn't work that way.
No.
I think that's the starting point that we both come from, where we recognize that there are just harsh realities that we may not like, we may not think is right, but it's stuff that we all have to deal with. And to your point about the LB and Sun Kang episode, there was something LB said that I think a lot of people missed, where he kind of like slipped it in. He was saying like, honestly, growing up in the Bay, especially East Bay, it's like, I'm not unusual.
Oh, what he was doing. I remember he said that.
But I'd imagine, like, you know, in between having Sun Kang talk about being fifth brother on Obi-Wan and the spork stuff, like there were a lot of like these hidden gems in that episode where, like, even going back to listen to it now, it's like, wow, there's a lot of wisdom that they were dropping on us in regards to how they think of themselves, how they see the world, what they think is important, in regards to what time they have left in the world. And I think that was probably the most instructive thing for me, where it's like you have people that were already very accomplished in their careers, where as far as I could tell, they were secure in themselves. And going into another theme that we bring up a lot on this podcast, it's the idea of masculinity. Like we started off the show with two very embodied men, where they knew who they were, know who they are, were comfortable with who they are, and yet they're still grinding. They're still doing things that are meaningful to them and their communities, and they're still relevant. You know, something I always tell people, especially people that are younger, is that like the older you get, you realize like the goal is not to be cool, the goal is to be relevant, right? Because whether it's in sports, it's in the arts, it's in any type of career field, like the people that are irrelevant, that are kind of just like doing their own thing and they're just a cog in the wheel and they're just keeping the machine running. We need those people. But if that's how they view themselves, like that's a very dehumanizing thing, right? Where they're like, oh, I might as well be just a screwdriver or a wrench, or in a worst case, they're like a little like nut. Like a little like like in a machine, right? Like, you know, little like dongle.
Cog in the machine.
Yeah, like literally they're just like they're part of it, but they're not the parts that you think about or care about. And I feel like that's basically the Asian American experience for a lot of people. Right?
They're just putting their head down, getting the work done, very efficient, you know, do well. But when it comes to like dreaming about something and executing on it, like we haven't worked out that muscle as much, you know. And dude, another thing that I just remembered when we had our conversation with Jason, what he said about he was
Jason
like,
Chu.
Yeah, with Jason Chu, he was like, are you truly like cool, or are you just young? Remember that line?
Yeah.
That's a crazy line. It's actually very profound. Because like at my church, like I'm around so many young kids, like in college and high school, and I see some some of the kids, I'm like, dang, you're real cool the way you dress. But I realized, like when I talk to them, they're like, oh, you know, I'm just wearing this because everyone else at school wears it. Yeah. Or I just have this because I go to this store and they have it. And I'm like, dang, man, it's truly like, now that, you know, we're out of school and working, I see plenty people. I now understand that statement. Now that we're not around stylish people, we don't keep up. Those who truly, you know, had taste or had their own style back in the day, you know, and still persist. Like, I really respect that. Something about having your own taste is really cool and something to respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think connecting that with like other guests that really stick out to me, like I really appreciated having Chef Tway the Bay on.
With her loafers. I still think about those loafers.
Yeah, those loafers that you were taking a peek at.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy statement. Yes.
But like the fact that we were able to release the episode on April 30th, the 50th anniversary of the end of Vietnam War, fall of Saigon.
So wild.
Super meaningful, because I think she addressed a lot of perspectives that kind of get lost in the shuffle, especially for an American perspective, where her coming to America at age 8, like her programming was already set from a Vietnamese programming, where being a child born and raised in Vietnam up to 8, being Vietnamese was normal. She didn't have to like struggle with like self-acceptance in the same way that a lot of Asian Americans do.
Yeah.
Right. And I think her promoting that idea of going back to, for her, it's the home country. For a lot of Asian Americans or even Asian adoptees, it's like the ancestral home country, the country of heritage. It's worthwhile, because it's, I think for a lot of Asians in the Western world, going from a majority white or majority mixed environment to an environment where everyone looks like you and you could see different versions of yourself around you, it is truly a trip. Like it rewires your perception of the world, and it might even hopefully heal some issues that you didn't know you had.
And it gives you vision, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to know that I don't have to stick to the 5 or 6 archetypes that I see, you know, like whether it's media that influences, actually media influences that hell, like so much, you know, instead of, I only have like a handful of archetypes, you know, when you go back to your home country or even living in California, you realize, oh shit, there's like 50, there's 50 archetypes I can, you know, and I actually have the freedom to make my own, which is actually how I feel. I feel more, free to create my own archetype being in California, because now I see it all. I like when I lived in Atlanta or, you know, Maryland, I mean, I was still me. I was still doing myself, and I'm the only that I knew of. But now I'm like even more fortified in my identity. Now that I've been around, and I thought I wouldn't be as stylish, or I don't know, I just feel so out of place. And it's like, no, I feel right at home, and I'm still like me, and I'm love being me here.
You're a Lego in a land of Legos, where maybe it was like you're a Lego in a land of Roblox in Atlanta.
Dude, it's like this. It's like I explained it to some of my friends. It's like real stupid, but like, okay, so when I was in Maryland and Atlanta, I had a certain, it's not even a level, but we'll just say I had a certain way of dressing. I've always wanted to dress, but I didn't maybe have the money, but I've always liked being this.
Okay.
But when I moved to Atlanta and around the people I was, this was like seemed outlandish, okay? So I felt like I had to kind of dress like here. Okay. It sounds really mean to say like this. You had to diminish yourself. Yeah, I had to really diminish myself. And I really, even though I had preferences and things, I only let it shine a few times, okay? And so I stayed here for a long time. And then when I moved to California, I was afraid, I don't know, I would just get lost in the mix. But when I came here, I saw everybody was kind of dressing like this or whatever. And for me, I thought I'd be overwhelmed by having to keep up with the Joneses or be whatever. But I just realized this is what I've always wanted. Sure. This is what I've always wanted to be at. And I just get to be around people who are fine dressing, expressing, being however they want to be authentic. And I've just found freedom in, you know, being what I've always envisioned myself to be.
Sure. I love how you point that out and came to that realization, because I think it's both age and culture, right? Because you can't really blame like a kid from not like being able to express his true self when everyone around him is different, right? Like that's unfair.
Or they're the same.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I always tell people, like, for Asian Americans, if you're not immigrant generation and you come to this country, and like, let's say like your parents were immigrants, your grandparents were immigrants, and you are a minority, and you choose to live in a situation where you're an absolute minority, where your kid or yourself is just a one of one. It's hard for me not to look at that as child abuse, man. Like, you're putting your kid in a very bad position where there's potential psychological issues, like all sorts of socialization issues. Like, and that's like, I don't know how to put that politely. I know like some people be mad, some people will laugh, but I see it all the time. Like all these poor Asian kids from Midwest, I feel bad for them. They feel like they have to
even
deal
speak
with
their own home, like with their mother tongue or whatever. Yeah,
it's tough. But going back to like what you were saying, like there's the age aspect of it, but the culture aspect of it is hugely important. And I think a lot of people, whether it's like they take it for granted or they just don't think about it, culture really matters. And when we talk about even, you know, your millennial boomer, like, oh, great job for representation. Like, I think one of the things I'm proudest of for this podcast is we really hit the nail on the head where representation should not be the goal. It's the starting point.
Yeah.
Once we're able to establish representation where people are like, oh, Asians are human beings, that really sad baseline where it's like, oh, we recognize the humanity of Asian people, then we can start, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if this is the goal we're running to, like, bro, we're not even in the game.
Dude, that, amen.
Yeah, like it's hard to like emphasize that more, because I think one of the biggest issues with minority cultures, especially in the States, is like kind of this pat yourself on the back mentality when you accomplish something. And it's not like we shouldn't celebrate our wins, but our wins are supposed to build off of each other, right? And I think it's good that we're able to talk about it in a way where, you know, we're not satisfied. We're hungry.
Yeah.
We want more, and we should want more.
Yeah. Damn, man. I keep bringing it back to music because that's all I think about.
Sure.
But like let's do a little thought exercise, because you know I love doing this. So right now in 2025, like if you were to craft a rap artist, and I say rap artist because it's so difficult, and it actually makes this example and our thought experiment so much more potent, in my opinion. Say we were to create a rap star, Asian American, male. Okay, how are we constructing his look? We're going to create his avatar, and we're going to storyboard his video. What are we going to do?
I'm going to give a cheap answer. I'm going to say, like, I would want to create a male sailor. That's a cheap answer.
Damn. Okay, well then describe that for people who don't know Sailor.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of millennials and older have no idea who Sailor is. But Sailor, Sailorr. Yeah. She is like one of the hottest things to appear on.
Her music's fire, bro.
Yeah, like before Chef Toy brought it up, I had only vaguely been aware of it, but then I listened to her singles and her new album. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Like she's in like 2050.
Yeah. Except she's a girl. I said rap artist, male.
Sure. So I mean, like the whole look in regards to, she doesn't do your typical bejeweled grill. She does like this blacked out grill.
Shit's hard.
That's a tribute to Vietnamese beauty conventions back in like the 1300s, 1400s. So there's like deeper cultural commentary there. Like there's richness there.
Yeah.
But then, like, she is straight up a Jacksonville girl. Like, she is of a place. And that's something when we first connected, we would talk about a lot, where it's like rappers that really seem to resonate for different eras, they seem to represent a place. And that seemed to be, like, core to their identity. Yeah. So that's the thing that comes off, like, straight off the bat, because her style, too. Like, you may see, like, girls that look like her, like, here and there in LA, but it feels like it makes a lot more sense in Florida, right? And I would want a male version of that.
Yeah. Damn. That's fire. What are you putting in that video? This This is the first single. We're a label right now. We're an agency label. What's the first song we're doing?
How about this? You answer this first, and now I'll tag on because I feel like you're better at this.
I like the image of some sort of sailor, have some sort of like tap into rich history of their own like ancestry. I like that. I think this dude has to be like, has either some stature to him, like built a little bit. Okay. You don't have to be like R&B sexy. You could. I think I want him a little like thicker, built dude. Yeah. I probably would either go like a boom bap type of sound, but in 2025. Yeah. Or it'll be like melodic rap, kind of like a Paul Russell or
that's a very wide swing.
Yeah, I know. Or like who does that but a little more rap? Maybe even a Blast.
Okay, yeah.
Blast is a little more like a R&B rap type of vibe. I would probably go with that. You're in the film world, so with that music,
it gave me some time to think.
There you go.
Yeah,
go.
I feel like there's almost like two approaches, because for me, where I would say I differ a lot from some Asian Americans is I feel like if you are Asian, like, so if we had to craft an Asian male rapper, heritage, we might not have to like bash people over the head with it, but we need to acknowledge it even if we don't say it. So for example, if it makes sense for this artist, like let's say he has a Buddhist background or whatever, if it makes sense, have it in front of a temple. Or have it in a temple, or like just that type of iconography.
Yeah, the performance video.
Yeah, because like my favorite Chinese rapper right now, this dude named Sky Is Your God, like literally there are Western news outlets saying that he has a Memphis flow, which is like a really quirky thing to say from some dude from like Guangdong province, Canton province. But it makes sense because he takes that American cultural aspect, and as Jason Chu pointed out, he makes it uniquely his own. So I feel like the background for this music video should be very authentically cultural, and if not that, I would say it should be authentically of the block of wherever he's at, because especially if you bring up the boom bap thing, it's like the authenticity seems to be the most critical piece for this overall aesthetic.
So this rap artist, what would he be the what's the word I'm looking for? What would he be the authoritative voice of? What will he represent, or like what will he be the trusted voice for?
I feel like it should be something edgy, like I don't know, dispensaries or something.
Yeah.
Or vapes. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay, what?
Like a product, not just like of his like cultural background.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like
that's
expected. It's too much or on the nose, right? Yeah. It should be like he's into like smoothies or something, or like he knows like the best juices or something like that. Is that what you're?
I think that's a great like idea, because it really varies depending on which end of the spectrum he's on. Because if it's like more of a Paul Russell type of vibe, like juicing would make perfect sense.
Acai bowls.
Yeah. But then if he's on more of the boom bap, like Coast Contra type of level, it would be something illicit, where it's like it might not necessarily be illegal, but it's kind of borderline. So I don't know.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
This is fun.
What would you add to it?
I would, I want the images to, I want it to be surreal a little bit. I want it to feel surreal. So whether it's the angles, I mean, a lot of it is location, honestly.
Yeah.
So find a place where it's like for me, I went to Korea like a few months ago, and I shot a few videos there, and I love how they look. You know, I even showed them to you a little bit, but the reason why I love them is not because it's some fancy angle either. They're great angles, but it's just I'm so fascinated with me being in Korea, even though the
streets are different.
Yeah, they look so different. And I don't look that Korean. To people who are ignorant, sure, you could stick me anywhere and they're like, oh, I've never seen this. I don't know what the fuck he is, but like when you just see me and you know the people in my video in that setting, you're like, are you supposed to be there? You know, it's the same idea. Like if you put me in the middle of like some hood, you know, hood ass looking place, and I shot a video, you know, that would be kind of surreal because what the hell am I doing there? You know, like I don't belong there. I didn't grow up there,
for sure.
You know? So and that's why I love shows like Atlanta, you know, like there's so much surrealism that's happening, you know, and I think I'm personally fascinated with it. I think there's something, there's like a gravitational pull. There's something intriguing about it that I think every rapper or artist, especially Asian Americans, should tap into. Even for me, that's what I realized for myself. But for this case study, like I really believe that's something we got to tap into.
Yeah. And for sure, for anyone who's never been to Atlanta, once you go to Atlanta, the show Atlanta makes perfect sense. Right?
Yeah, that's facts, bro.
We got to wrap up here because time is money.
I know, bro.
So we're going to do a speed round version of the 3 questions we typically ask.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'll ask you. Where do you consider home?
Fountain Valley, California, man. Orange County. I'll always say this. If Orange County was good enough for Kobe, the living embodiment of Los Angeles, it's good enough for me. And Fountain Valley is where I was born and raised. Fountain Valley will always be home.
Yeah. Okay. So give me a restaurant from Fountain. Oh, should we do it back and forth?
Yeah, let's do it back first.
Dude, this is tricky. I've been thinking about it because it's really tricky.
Okay.
Okay. Because I've born and raised Maryland. I lived in Atlanta for a good 8 years and I loved it there. And I've been here for 2 years. But currently, where I consider home, outside of where my parents and my family is, it's LA. I feel like LA has become home for me. So I think I will say LA.
Okay.
Is my home.
Final answer.
Final answer.
All right.
Yeah.
Thing that I love eating in Fountain Valley that I have to take people to. Yeah, this is a funny question to ask, but I would actually say I would take them to Nep Cafe.
Oh,
it's the
Nep.
flagship of the Key Concepts restaurant empire.
Yeah.
And if the idea of restaurant empire in Orange County sounds bizarre to you, it's because you haven't been down to Fountain Valley in a minute. But Nep Cafe, I think their execution of like a Vietnamese fusion brunch, unparalleled. You won't see the shit anywhere else in the country, maybe even the world.
Damn, where will I take people in LA? My roots are shallow here, so I haven't developed enough favorite places yet. But one place I repeatedly have taken my friends and they've all been impressed by is actually Cause Pie in South Pass. That
is a local choice because not everyone will think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I got introduced because of David So, and we used to
also a great episode.
Yeah, and we used to eat there all the time after our walks, and I just grew to love that place because it's just like the spot. You know, and we got to know the owners a little bit.
Yeah.
And like they just execute every dish so beautifully. And it's simple. It's like a new American. You know, I think it's fast casual. I think that's how you would describe it. I just love it, bro. It's like a spot where it's like, hey, you can't think of anything, but you need a solid spot. Cause Pie.
Okay. That's fitting that you're giving the music answer last as an artist. I'll give mine. Like I already said it, Sailor.
Sailor?
Like I think I was legitimately surprised when I started listening to her catalog, and I was like, I want more. I haven't felt that way about an artist in a long time. Yeah, because I couldn't like I was like, is this like Summer Walker meets like Janae Aiko meets like it was like.
Bro, Sailor's fire, bro. I'm a big fan.
It was this itch that I didn't know I needed to scratch. So, yeah. That's why her tickets are going for like fucking $300 resale right now, dude.
That's kind of crazy,
insane.
Dude.
Yeah.
What's at the top of my playlist right now? Honestly, I was listening to this Denzel Curry album.
Oh, yeah.
King of the Mischievous South.
Okay.
Volume 2, I think. I don't know. Something about it just like...
speaks to you.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not from the hood. I'm not from the South, but I lived in the South for 8 years in Atlanta, you know, and I think he kind of mixed in like Southern rap with like his boom bap roots as well. And it just created like a nice bouncy boom bap type of sound and it inspired me to like tap into boom bap for myself, you know?
Hey.
So, yeah, bro. Big fan.
So for those of you that don't know, Uzu Han, that is James's artist name. He actually makes music. Where can people find your music, man?
Oh my God. Everywhere. Uzu Han Music. Just type it in and you'll find it. Uzuhan. You should already know this, man.
For sure. For me, I am Christian Bale, CHRISTIANBAAL. It is
Funniest name ever, bro.
It is a Sunday
so
school joke.
clever.
If you grew up going to any type of Sunday school in the evangelical world, so you can find me. I think I'm on Christian Bale for most platforms, but in any case, if you enjoy our podcast, definitely follow Local Gods with a Z.
Yeah.
And
and review. We need some reviews, right?
Please give us some reviews on Apple Podcasts, on
Spotify,
wherever
dude.
you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
And if there are guests that you would like to see, if we do a second season of Local Gods, please leave it in the comments for the YouTube video. But besides that, it's been real.
It's been a good time, man.
Good times. All right.
Maybe there's a next time.
Maybe there's next time. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Well,
All right.
peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.